goal this week isn't to like learn everything from scratch, because that's really not possible at all. As the exam dates are fast approaching, I know that the stress is starting to hit, especially when there's so much content to cover in such a little time. But if you're in that boat, just stick around, and even if you're not, hopefully you'll find this video helpful. And I'm going to be breaking down the strategies on how to effectively revise for your geography papers, whether it be physical or human, because I feel like the overall strategies to revise for each one is quite similar, but there's just a bit of difference when you're revising for each one, and I'll try to keep it short and to the point so you can get on quickly. In this final stretch, I feel like the first way to effectively prepare or to adequately prepare for your papers is to know your case studies, because every single exam questions will need you to back up your answer with facts and figures, and truly the case study is it's like the best source for that. If you walk into an exam hall without a clear or a detailed knowledge of your case study for the topics, I feel like that's such a big risk. And honestly, this should sound really obvious to you by now, but if it doesn't, just take it as your wake-up call. The second thing to do to effectively prepare is do practice papers. Now wait, I know people say do practice paper, but in this final stretch, what you want to do is do them smartly. Yes, do practice paper, but you don't feel like you need to write out the full essay or the full answer to the question. You could just make out a detailed essay plan that contains like your main argument, counter argument, your key points, any relevant case study you need to insert, your conclusion, and then finally like answer the command word, whether the question says to evaluate or to analyze or to compare or to summarize, you answer that. I feel like this method is really quick, it saves time, and it helps you answer more questions. I feel like this is actually a form of active recall as well, because you don't even have to physically pen down the essay plan. You could just walk through them or map them out in your head, and it makes it easier for you to spot gaps in your knowledge, so you know exactly what to dive into and revise. When I say you don't need to write it down or put it down on pen and paper, it means if you look at questions like you're going through past papers, you look at the question and you try to answer it in your head. If you feel like you're finding it a bit difficult to answer one part, or like you find the argument easy but you don't have enough counterpoints because you need a balanced structure when you write an essay, then you know, oh, I need to go and look into how to counter this argument. So then you just dive into that, and it just shortens your revision time rather than having to go through everything again. I know all geography papers have like analysis question. It doesn't matter what exam board you're doing, they all do. This might look so simple, but trust me, it's so easy to fumble as well. Like, the questions come in several different ways. So the first thing you want to do is know the difference between the ones that explicitly ask you to just analyze what you see and the ones that ask you to describe with your own knowledge as well. Because if you mix up the two and you put your own knowledge where you don't need to, that whole paper is at risk. So asides knowing the command word and understanding it, also just brush up on your data interpretation skills, like converting raw numbers to percentages or ratio, or just making comparisons and stuff to help you ace it. So this one is for physical geography more specifically. I feel like compared to human geography, there's so much more processes, from like coastal processes that's got weathering, mass movement, erosion, and even within those they've got processes of their own like siltation, traction, to like hazards that got like plate tectonics and landform associated with them, tectonics, the process of its formation. There's so much processes in physical geography. So what you want to do is to clearly distinguish between each of them, because sometimes they can sound so similar, or they have similar logic, but when answering questions, obviously you don't want to make a mistake and put one in instead of the other. So you want to clearly distinguish between each of these processes and understand them fully. So I feel like what you need to do to retain all these processes is to make a visual breakdown or visual chart. stating what the key process is, how they work, where they apply, and like the differences between each of the other process in the same topic. Say the difference between sortation and traction or solution, that type of thing. I feel like doing this will help you avoid confusion because you mentally organize the process in your head and you can easily just bring it up. So this one is for human geography more specifically. You want to use this final stretch to really lock in on your case studies. Like make a list of them and state like what the core statistics are, what the key facts are, what type of questions they best support. And I know I've said case studies literally at the very beginning of this video, but geography can be really abstract sometimes, especially when you're answering questions like development, globalization, urban change. There's so much room for your own interpretation as compared to physical. So you want to make sure you've got a wide, well-rounded, adaptable list of case studies that you can use flexibly in different questions. So this final stretch before your first paper, I feel is the best time to brush up and fine-tune every single thing you know. So I recommend grabbing a big A3 sheet for each topic and just spilling out everything you can remember, all the content you can remember, because geography is so content heavy and you need to retain the most you can before you go into the exam hall. So this method definitely helps you retain more effectively. Let me hold you guys' hands when I say this. The goal this week isn't to like learn everything from scratch, because that's really not possible at all. Rather, it's to like solidify and apply your knowledge and organize every single thing you know so you can apply it best. And just work smart, stay consistent, and overall be prepared. And I feel like if you do all these, you should be good to go. Like, there's really nothing stopping you from getting that grade you're wanting. So good luck with the exams, guys, and if you found this helpful, feel free to drop a like, and you can also send it to a friend who you know is secretly stressing but they're not showing it. Yeah, I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.